Hi guys, David Essery here. Whatever you're doing today, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I was sitting down yesterday and just tuning in a little bit for my workshop that I've got next week, Manifesting Joy from Within. And the wonderful Lord Lanto came through with a message for me about joy that I really wanted to share with you today. So, here we go. This is what he said. Second only to love, joy is the most important thing you can give yourself. It is through joy that we gain clarity for all areas of our lives. With it, we can see the darker times for what they are, fleeting moments. With it, we can find gratitude for all the good we do have in our lives. With it, we can cultivate love for ourselves and for others. Without it, it is easy for darkness to envelop our perception. Joy cannot be given, it can only be received. If one can accept it, can welcome it into their lives, then find it they shall. Alas, though so few do, they give it the lowest priority within their lives, and as such, it cannot penetrate through the noise of their activities. In order to embody it, joy must be cultivated. It must be given the proper time and space to flourish. And that is a task only achievable by you, my beloved. A choice there is to make, seemingly simple on the surface, but often misunderstood. Do you accept joy? Yours in loving reverence, Lord Lanto. So, a beautiful message and definitely something to think a lot about. And really, I think, when we're talking about joy, the first thing we need to do is kind of define what joy is. And it can be a very hard thing to do because I think joy is something slightly different to everyone, really. And I think it's really important that we, spend time with ourselves discovering what joy is to us and therefore how we can, as he says, cultivate it. To me, joy is quite different from happiness. Happiness is kind of like a reaction, a feeling. Something happens, it makes you happy. Joy, however, is something we have within us. You see certain people in life who joy just seems to pour out of them. As I'm talking, Dick Van Dyke springs to mind. I've seen videos of him recently in his 90s getting up and dancing on stage and stuff, and the man just exudes joy. He's got such a beautiful, incredible energy about him. And, joy for many of us isn't as extreme necessarily or as outward as that, although I think it's something to aspire to. When we see people like that, it does inspire us. It makes you feel more playful, more childlike, which I think is a beautiful energy for anyone to be able to hold. But as he said in the message, once we have that joyous feeling, whatever it is, this thing that we have within us, and I think all of us do have it within us. I see it myself as like a flame, right? It could be incredibly bright and roaring and we're filled with joy, or it could be much more subdued and subtle and, just slightly flickering. And, how we act, how we accept joy into our lives, as he says, is how we cultivate that, how we make it burn brighter. And when it does, it lifts us completely. It has an unbelievable effect. There's been so much research and studies, on the effect that it has on the physical body, on our brain chemistry, on our energy levels. And it just lifts our entire vibration. I've spoken before about what happens on a physical level with our vibration when we allow darkness, shadows, basically any lower vibration in. And it actually slows down the electrons that rotate around the atoms of our body, and it slows the whole process down, and that eventually leads to old age and sickness and all sorts of other problems. A positive energy like joy speeds up those electrons, it quickens them, and that raises your vibration. So it's a really, really powerful tool, and it's something that we we are all capable of giving ourselves. He said in the message, it cannot be given, it can only be received. If one can accept it, can welcome it into their lives, then find it they shall. It requires an active choice, much like self-love, for instance, or peace. I spoke about that recently when I received a message, and they said that anyone can have peace, but you have to make time for it. He said the exact same thing in that message today about joy, that you have to give it the proper time and space to allow it to flourish. And what that means for everyone is something different. Maybe that is time for you to laugh, whether that's watching comedy shows or hanging out with your friends or whatever it is. Maybe that's something creative, whether that's music or art. Maybe it's, working with your inner child and playing with toys and games and things like that, which is such a powerful toy for joy. Our inner child are particularly important when it comes to this, because children are so good at finding joy. You can watch a kid and cats springs to mind thinking about mine, that they can find joy in the most unlikely, seemingly simple things. There is the opportunity for joy all around us. It just takes us to recognize it, to acknowledge it, to accept it, and to take the time to actually do that, whether that's 5 minutes a day, an hour a day, whatever it is. But it has profound effect on, as I say, our energy, our physical health, and really it can then change your life. For people who have been suffering with great deals of depression and anxiety, for instance, bringing yourself into a space of joy can turn that around. And then when you start getting that positive chemistry flowing within your body, you can start feeling better about making good choices like exercise and proper diet and nutrition and all of these things that then allow you to start turning your life around. Joy is kind of this catalyst within us that can do so much. It changes the perspective of the way that we see the world. If we have joy within us, we are looking from a place of positivity. As he said in his message, it leads to gratitude, it leads to love for ourselves and for others. But he said without it, it's just check, excuse me, my iPad's gone to sleep that I read it off. I just wanted to double check what he said. Without it, it's easy for darkness to envelop our perception. It's similar to a lack of hope. If you have no joy in your life, it's like the glass half empty, and you see life from that darkened place. It has such a profound effect on our lives, and really it's just something that we have to choose to accept, to make time for, and then find the way that it works for us. Now, as I say, this could be any of those things that I talked about: playing games, creativity, laughter. But we can also work on this in an energetic level as well. As I say, we have this like a flame of joy within each of us that we can work on. I see it as bright yellow. And you can just do a simple exercise, just breathing in, and as you do with each in-breath, see that flame growing brighter and brighter, smiling as you do it, and just make a conscious choice to welcome in joy. Allow that energy to spread out into your fields. Align your spiritual body with joy so that you are spreading that energy into the world out around you, and as such magnetizing that energy to come back into you. You're basically telling the world around you that you are in alignment with joy and you want more joy. There's a lot that we can do to start working on this. And I think it's such an important part. It's such an overlooked part, especially here, in the UK and other similar parts of the world. Responsibility, work, chores, all of these things are given importance over everything. That we feel that we have to be working all the time, we have to be looking after others, we have to be, whatever it is that's distracting us. And as he said in his message, it must be given the proper time and space to flourish, and that's a task only achievable by you, my beloved. And he says, alas, though so few do, they give it the lowest priority within their lives, and as such, it cannot penetrate through the noise of their activities. The noise being everything else that they feel that they need to do. But when that happens, all of those things, all of those responsibilities build up on top of us. They lead to stress, they lead to anxiety. And, on the counter opposite to what we were talking about with joy, they then lead to, choices of bad food, not getting exercise. So all of the other things ultimately don't help us push us down. If we allow ourselves time for joy, even if that's just, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour a day, it gives us the lift that makes everything so much easier. And I think, particularly as a collective group of people that are actively working on ascension as we are, that we're doing the work, facing the blocks, moving through the initiations, life becomes incredibly hard. But by taking those time, the positive action for us, then it can help counteract that. It brings some positivity back in, which makes then everything else easier. I think for some people, ascension has almost become like a job as well, like a second thing that we've got to do. We have to meditate every day. We have to do all of these things to prepare ourselves. And then even something like meditation, like spirituality, that is supposed to be a positive force in our lives, can almost become stressful and more challenging for our lives. Joy is only ever going to be good for you. That's all it can do. It can only bring positivity into your life and the life of those around you. And that's why it's so important. And that is exactly why the week on Friday, the 24th of November, just after Thanksgiving, I am running this workshop, Manifesting Joy from Within. And in this workshop, we are going to be actively working to clearing blocks to joy, because that, of course, is the other aspect of this. So many of us don't feel that we deserve joy. It's a classic routine of kind of self-punishment. Don't deserve love, don't deserve peace, don't deserve joy. But that's not true. Everybody deserves joy, love, and peace. So do you. So we're going to be working to overcome blocks to joy. We are going to be working on aligning ourselves with joy so we can call more of it to us. We're going to be igniting that flame of joy. And we're going to do a bit of inner child work as well. It should be a really beautiful evening. If you feel like joining me for that, I'll pop all the details down in the description below. I also want to just give a quick shout out as well. Along with Black Friday and the rest of the world this year, we've decided to offer 33% off all of our products and our workshop recordings on our online store. This includes all of my artwork, mugs, bags, cushions, journals, and recordings of all of my past workshops, including my 6-part series, The Path to Freedom. Massive savings on that. So if you fancy checking anything out, again, I'll pop the discount code, which is Black Friday 23, in the description below and a link to my website. Hey, thank you so much for joining me again today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys, and I hope to see some of you next week on my workshop. Whatever you're doing today, I hope you're having a beautiful weekend. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.